Alright, so in this episode, I'm going to talk about how to fix the problems what I found wrong with the Stark Varg after 80 plus hours of use. If you are wondering why I have this wheel over here, I'm glad you asked. We're making these wheels, and it's Enduro Pro Series wheels with oversized spokes and double bearings on the chain side, and available for Stark Varg. As you can see, this Stark Varg equipped with this set of wheels. This is quite a good wheels if you're beating your average wheels. These are holding way better than any OEM wheels does. Let's start with my biggest issue with the Stark Varg, which is the triple clamp. I took it apart and I found there is a coating on it. No wonder the aluminum normally needs to get coated in order to last longer. So that's what Stark did. But the type of coating what they're using, for some reason, it's kind of letting the shock twist easier than other bikes normally. Especially Yamaha, they don't put any coating inside. And most of the other brands, they are actually just boring it through and keeping it clean, raw aluminum. That way you can get the best result. These guys over here, they were thinking about just coating the whole thing and it will be okay, but it's not. So what I'm ending up doing, I sand it all the way around with sandpaper, and then I went up and down. And I just stick my finger in here and I feel it's kind of like it has oil in it. The surface is so smooth. It's, now I completely understand why my shocks are twisting. So I have to fix that. I tried to do 1,000, sandpaper, and it's just too soft. It doesn't do anything. So this is like a 300 one. I really need to scratch the surface a bit in order to have a better grip, because the way it is, it's just not working. And I checked my older bike triple clamp. I have one on the table, and I just checked that, and the surface on that, it's very rough compared to this one. So no wonder why those are holding the way it should, and this one the way it's should be, but it just doesn't. So I think it has some kind of coating on it. You can see I can take it off and it's white. That's what's causing the problem. It's pretty clear. I gotta remove that. So my second biggest problem was the front brake. I didn't have enough grip. I'm not saying the front brake didn't work. It didn't work as good as on the other bikes what I had. On the initial grip, it's just not there. When I try to do front wheelie, it still slides a little bit before it grabs. I don't like that. I like that quick initial, just grab instantly, blocking it. I like that. And I just don't have that kind of feeling on this one. So took it apart, sand it down, sand the brake pads down, messed with the rotor, put brake cleaner on everything, tried to clean it, no solution. So I just left it the way it was before. But, since we were on the big tune-up, I thought I'm going to fix it, and I fixed it by accident. I put these wheels on. These wheels look like a brand new wheels, but they actually was on my KTM for 2 years, and they're still holding up quite good. I took it entirely apart, cleaned it out, and now it looks like a brand new one, so I'm kind of proud of that. Anyway, I put the front rotor from the KTM back on these wheels, and I installed it on the Stark Varg, and who would thought? Now my front brake works just like I expected from it. It grabs in instantly and works the way it should. The wheel sets are making this Stark Varg to stand out even more than already is. A little fun fact about these wheels. You see how nice they look, right? They look like brand new. but they were actually on my KTM, and I beat the crap out of it for years and years. You can see, if you look closer, there's a little chip over here. But if you're not looking at close enough, it looks amazing. Next item is the shocks. These shocks, as I mentioned in a previous episode, felt like a boat, a Cadillac type of deal. Initially soft, but it wasn't firm after that the way it should be. I took it to factory connection and it cost $980, but now I have a shock of my dream. Technically all of mine shocks like that, and every time when I grab a shocks from these guys, take it home, I just want to ride the bike to see if they still get it. And for some reason, every single time I take the shocks to them, they're giving it to me and they just nail it every single time. And then the problem is always different, but the end result is always the same. They kind of have a file on their computer about my needs. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing with everybody, so that's not just because who I am or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing with everybody. And they just tune the shocks for my expectation, which is initially soft and firm. And they told me I need to change the springs front and rear. You can see there is a yellow springs up there. Originally it's like gray. And these springs are firmer than the other one was. The other one was like 0.5 softer than these are. So they, on the front, they changed that little spring, which is initially soft. They firmed that up. It's still soft now, but it's, probably to matching with the other one. But anyway, they changed the small spring up front. They changed the big spring up front and a bunch of other stuff. They give me a bag of who knows what they replaced. And they said the oil wasn't as bad in it because I asked them. I thought the reason why I have my problem with the shocks because the oil wear out. And I constantly stated that on many of my videos. I'm pretty sure the reason why my shocks went bad because of the oil. And they told me the oil still, it was on a low side of good, but it wasn't bad. Small things in a big word, the carbon fiber, the radiator shroud, whatever that is called, it was broken. The plastic front of it, it was perfectly fine, but somehow the radiator shroud broke. Stark Varg was kind enough to send me another one. That was an easy fix. I took everything apart what needed to be greased, and on KTM, when you take it apart, you need to put grease on it. Otherwise, you suffer the consequences. Over here, I did not have to put grease on it because it was plenty grease after 80 hours. No problem whatsoever. Well, but what I found interesting, the bolts, I mean, generally speaking, like random places, the bolts, I lost one of my bolts from here. I have custom bolts over here. I lost one of the front shock guard bolts. So I don't know if the way I rode in it's very bumpy or whatever. I just don't know why, but I just lost these bolts. So I ended up Loctite. Even those bolts where I normally doesn't put Loctite on it, but on this bike I just did. No vibration here, but you're still losing the bolts. I don't know why. Anyway, linkage, plenty grease. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, everything is just from the company who just started out to building a bike like this. It's amazing. Let's talk about something which is huge, the update. And this update, what Stark Varg just came out recently, you can have a traction control. that's not the big part. I didn't even try that. But what I found, I actually can go out ride twice before charge the battery. Before I was able to ride once and then I needed to put charge in it. So the fact they be able to tweak it on the fly with the app, it's amazing. Let me take this idea a little bit further down and put KTM as the biggest manufacturer next to Stark Varg. You have kind of like a tech company on one side, same thing as Tesla, same principle, and we know Tesla become the biggest car manufacturer company for its worth in the planet for a reason. I have a Tesla and I love it. If you have one or you haven't, if you try one, you just don't want to go back. This bike gives you just the same ideology, which is fixing things on the fly. On the other hand, you have KTM, who thinks is going down on the Harley-Davidson path. We're going to talk about that in a second, which is make the bikes more reliable, not to make it more innovative like they did it before, not brings more innovation out, just whatever platform you have, just tweak it until people doesn't need to take it to the service. So less bike going to the service department, less money they need to spend after they sell their bike. On the other hand, we have these guys over here who is thinking about, why you even bother taking it to the service? Let me just fix it through the cloud for you. And they did that specifically with me a number of times, and every single time it worked. And let me take it a little bit further. You buy a KTM, and as the time goes on, the KTM eventually just keep going down in value, and it's going to get weared out a little bit. Then you need to start maintaining, blah, blah, blah. On this end, you buy the bike like I bought it a year ago, and now with this update, I have a bike which is better than it was when I bought it new, meaning by I have more battery range than I had when I bought it. I was okay with that range, but now to have more, I'm welcomed all of this extra. On the other hand, we have KTM as doing the traditional way, which is very good and it's working. And just hear me out. I know most of you are hardcore KTM guys, so as I am. I was just thinking about getting on a 350 XC KTM because I love that bike. But I'm getting older, and the point of that is Harley-Davidson had a fantastic run. They did not innovate. They kept the same platform with the same audience, and now Harley-Davidson is a dying brand because the youngsters don't even thinking about it. They don't even know what Harley-Davidson is, and they go more towards the adventure bike or other kind of platform because it's just not appealing to them. I think KTM, if it doesn't change, they are on that path, same path as the Harley-Davidson. And these guys literally heading towards the future. You can tell me in the comment what you think. I'm happy to hear that. This is just me thinking out loud. I kind of like that, what the future brings. And I think the future will be, you like it or not, it's going to be this direction. So, and on the end, the least important, I guess, changing the way the bike looks. I like the gray better, this blue, whatever color. It suits me better. I bought the red. I thought I can get used to it, but unfortunately, it just doesn't work for me. I designed this decals. If you like to get the one for yourself, I'm probably gonna put the link below where you can get it from. I also decided to put these decals over here. This is kind of like a bed liner type of sticker. It gives me a better grip overall. I can hold myself on the bike much better with this, and also not damaging my decals over here. Overall, very pleased, very happy with the bike. The new upgrades, what Stark did, my new look. the 80 hours feels like nothing on this bike. I'm just gonna keep hammering it for another 80 hours, I guess. And I just report back if I find something what needed to be reported to you guys. And that's where I leave it.